listening, but
You most definitely are allowed to complain,
I'm allowed to complain. Okay,
no
good.
doubt. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I mean, my heart goes out to you. It's difficult. I'm glad that you're seeing just what you're seeing in terms of other people, and that this is really no one like I hope that you're seeing social workers, social
Yeah.
services, all that stuff. Yeah, that you have support systems, that you have friends that you talk to regularly. Yeah, and you're really on your own when it comes to the inside game. When it comes to inside your mind, your thoughts, what you say to yourself. That's really where the work is. And thinking about the fact that there's countless other beings in similar situations or worse situations to yourself is an excellent thing to do. And from your heart, if you can literally, you're talking about, okay, we just talked about between the conceptual and the non conceptual. So the non conceptual is all of this is just arising in consciousness. You didn't exist. Now, for a while, you appear to exist, and then you're not going to exist. So, between two non existences, what is there to even? It's going to blink of an eye, it's going to be over. There's nothing to concern yourself with. Okay, so that's kind of pointing to the non conceptual. That itself is still conceptual. It's pointing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in between there, the the use of images and the whole imaginal dimension and the feeling dimension, picture worth 1,000 words, beyond concepts but not quite non-conceptual. Sitting there thinking about, because it's really the conceptual mind that produces the suffering the most. There's pain, physical pain or discomfort, but all of the what it means and all of that just tightens the grip and the noose. So sitting thinking in a thinking of all sentient beings that are in situations like yours or worse, other people in wheelchairs, other people lonely, feeling ineffective, all of that, thinking of them in your heart, sending compassion and love toward them or warmth toward them, what you would want for yourself toward them. In fact, maybe feeling that from a source above you, the goddess, a Buddha, Christ, pure light, the syllable A, whatever. I mean, you from whatever traditions you came from, maybe, I don't know, the sun or someone. But in any case, getting that compassion from Buddha, from
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
visual, imagining it and connecting to all the other beings that are in your situation.
Well, that's what I'm just within the last day or so has finally come to a conclusion that this is a lesson in compassion.
Exactly.
You know, it's not about anything conceptual. It's well, it is and it isn't. You know,
Well,
there's definitely a conceptual side to having compassion, but compassion just comes from who knows where it comes from, but it's always there.
you're not alone. You're in communion
Mm.
with countless beings who are in situations very similar to yours, who have feelings very similar to yours, that extend into the infinite past. And in the future, there will be people in exactly your position long after you're gone. So you are part of a lineage of what it is to be a human being who is feeling this particular way, who is experiencing this particular thing.
Mm.
I mean, the conceptual level, to work at the conceptual level, is quite hard school because you're in a hard school situation, right? So again, I can tell you I love you and that many people love you and support you. That's all beautiful and that's there. But in the end, you're in a hardcore situation. So the hardcore teaching conceptually is like this. Who am I to think that this wouldn't happen to me? Am I so special? Why should I be somebody who doesn't have A, B, C, whatever it is right now? This is what it is to be human. There is no shame in it, except the shame you put on yourself by thinking it shouldn't be. It's simply the way it is. It's just what it is. And that's you could say there's a dignity in that transcends appearances, stories of usefulness that you've been holding on to, that are part of the common culture, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
get that. I get that. Yeah.
yeah. If you are alone in your wheelchair and you look at the night sky and see the stars and see the beauty in that, that's one sentient being seeing something beautiful that is there, that's not being seen by any other person. And from that perspective, there's a unique point of view that you have that the universe needs, and that's why you're still breathing, because you are a unique version of the universe, having a unique experience, seeing a unique picture moment by moment by moment. And that's your usefulness, no matter what is going on. That's always the case. All other forms of usefulness are secondary. That's not the primary use, whatever it is. You can lay bricks or program computers or good at sales or split the atom, whatever it is. That's all secondary. The primary is you're a unique position, a unique soul, a unique seeing. And nobody else is seeing through your eyes. And that's whether you're in a state of busy mind or no mind. It's still a unique perspective, sitting in this body, looking out of these eyes, or aware of the body arising in you, aware of the sense fields. Notice the mind, how much of it is about comparison, and how, because through association, repetition, we are kind of slaves to that continuous comparison of how it should be. I wish I could remember. There's a Zen poem. What was it called? I think it's Sin Sing Ming. Something like the way is easy when you let go of opinions. It's something. There's a line in it about that, and all of our opinions about what our situation means. Even the idea of better and worse. I mean, it's a big ask. So allow yourself to have the other as long as as long as it's natural for you. Like, I'm absolutely Yes, you know, be upset and complain as long as you feel to. But at a certain point, it feels like you're hitting your head against the wall, and you've done everything you could. Then and here you are in this situation, and then it's useful to go, is this really bad?
Uh, but what's most useful is to come and listen to Krishna. in
Good.
this case, in this case.
Good. Is it really? And you curse a little bit. Yes, it is. God damn. Go. Yeah, yeah. Let that too. And then, but really, is it? Is it? Who is it? Byron Katie. She used to do that thing. She used
Is
to
it
do that
real?
thing where it was,
Is it real? Yeah.
is it? How do you know? How do you know it's really bad? Who says? Who says? Who says? Because you can see how later in life you go, oh, that was the best thing that happened to me. Jesus Christ, I learned this, I learned that, I learned acceptance, I learned compassion, I learned, boy, I would have to pay, big bucks in a workshop for months on end and lots of therapy to get that. And look, that hard thing in life put me through it, and I got through it. Wow. I mean, because, it's all framing. It's all the way the mind works. It's like, oh, this and that. Except we think they're hardwired. It's just really something that we've been taught, we picked up, we put a bit here, put a bit there, put it together, and it's like we're trapped by it. Yeah. And that's the biggest trap. Not poverty, not ill health, not lack of friends, but having opinions about what that appearance means.
Yeah, I get that.
Good.
I definitely get that.
Good. You might want to, if you haven't picked that up, you might want to pick up some very well, I want to say it's, let's just say this. You might want to pick up the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius.
Mm-hmm.
The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. It's basically a journal by a guy who is doing spiritual practices in Stoicism. And there's two big guys, there's like three or four people who've left good writings from Roman times. One of them happened to be the Emperor of Rome, that's Marcus Aurelius. And the other guy is Epictetus, and he happened to be like a crippled slave. So you could read both of them, and they both have a lot to say that sounds very similar to each other. But it's worth looking at those because it's very good training of the thought process. It's not just whimsical thinking; it's hardcore logic, reason. It's rational. It's not wishful thinking. Oh, I feel better when I think this way. It's more like how stupid that we were like having these fixed ideas that have no basis in anything but cultural accidental situations. I mean, we're kind of conditioned with this. The most effective, and I say effective, I mean scientifically, like scientific method, provable, meaning you can repeat it over and over and again. Okay? Like that has proof repeatable. I'm not saying that I'm all for lots and lots of forms of therapy, but the one that has the most hard science provable stuff has been cognitive behavioral therapy, which is very related to this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about clearly seeing rationally and logically that you are constantly having opinions about everything that are based in common culture, and that's all.
Yeah, sure.
If we lived in a culture where people went, let's go talk to the wise old hermit who has nothing and is living in his hut to have some wisdom, and we'll give him some food, then you would feel so good about yourself. It would be so different. We don't live in that. It's like, oh, he's an old man, doesn't have anything. That it's so bizarre. The whole thing is like, oh, I'm not. So you have in your hands the ability to free yourself, and it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not an easy thing. It's tough. So by all means, do all the other stuff that they all say, like get support, work with civil, with human service, with services,
Sure.
all that stuff. Stay in touch with friends. If you have a therapist, all of that, whatever you can do, given your situation, do it. But in the end, know that you could always ask yourself, is this really what I think it is? Maybe it's not. It's simply what it is.